Hello, everyone, and welcome to Twillow Talk. I'm Tanys Coughlan from the Twillow Lifestyle Community, Twillow Lifestyle Academy, and I am joined by my beautiful co-host, Jennifer Jurkofsky.
Hello, hello.
Who is with Twillow Lifestyle Academy and My Holistic Self. We haven't told them what we do lately. Do you think we should do that?
Have we not? I feel like...
No, it's been a long time. If there are new listeners, maybe they'd like to know.
Sure, let's do that.
Let's say hi to Kaylee first. Hi, Kaylee.
Hey, Kaylee.
Thank you. So what do? We do stuff, right? We do energy work. We are both shaman. I'm a Celtic Shamanic high priestess, as well as a Galactic shaman, a Galactic ambassador. I do channeling and
all the fun stuff.
All that stuff. Crystals and, esoteric teaching and all that kind of fun stuff.
It's good stuff.
It's fun stuff. Yeah.
It is.
What do you do, Jen?
Yeah, I do some of that stuff, and then I do some of my own stuff.
She does.
It's like a therapist, certified Canadian counselor, intuitive life coach. And so I incorporate some of that stuff into the mental health side of life.
Mm-hmm. And I kind of incorporate it into like business. So because I also am an HR consultant, so it's awesome. We balance each other very well.
It's super cool.
Even our human design says so.
Yes.
And if you don't know what human design is,
that's some of the stuff I do.
Exactly.
So lovely.
Yeah. So I guess we should tell them the weather. We usually do our little space weather forecast.
Absolutely.
So, all right, let's do that.
It'll explain why we've all been like,
Actually, it's fairly quiet. I mean, if we look at this compared to sometimes it's like all over the map. We did have a bit of a spike there yesterday in the Shaman. Small one this afternoon, but nothing too drastic. And then if we look at the solar flares, it's been quite quiet. So we had that big week last week or the week before, kind of a week and a half, I guess. But we've come into this week where it's quite quiet. We're just in the B's and C's, and that's fairly quiet. As you can see here, we had a solar flare that was an X5 on the 11th. That was one of the biggest ones in the last 6 months. And yeah.
That's what we were thinking of. I know it says the 11th, but it really doesn't feel that far away.
It really doesn't. I actually am surprised it says the 11th. We also had a 4 on the 14th. So that was that week. That was pretty wild in terms of the solar flares. And as you can see, the KP index is all in the green. So that, again, is fairly kind of stable. So in terms of the weather forecast, space weather, etc., things are fairly calm. Now, having said that, I want to say that I think there have been a lot of downloads, a lot of other stuff coming into the earth that is not related to those, that isn't being picked up by that kind of thing, because I do feel like there's been some big shifts in the last week, not just for me, but for my clients as well. And I think that that's due to some of the downloads and activations that are happening right now, because I've seen a lot of that kind of thing as well. So let's see what the transits have to say.
Well, and shifting for sure, right? Like if you look at even just some of what we've come through lately, right? Like just previous week when all of that, was happening. So you said the 11th.
Yeah, 11th and 14th.
Yeah, so the 11th, that huge. Okay, so just to back up for a little bit, because I know we do the transits and I know we've talked about where this comes from, but for those of you who, are new or don't know, It has everything to do with neutrinos, which are little micro mass that comes, and there's billions that are coming through all the time. And 70% of them are coming with the energy of the sun. So when we talk about the transit, we're talking about the energy that the sun is basically sending to us in, billions and billions of tiny little particles of energy at a time.
Neutrinos. Those are the tiny particles.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so when we have solar flares and things like that, I know I call them like the sun farting, but what they really are is the sun sending, like it says, right, as a coronal mass ejection. It's like this massive burst of energy. Well, if you think about it, it's like exponentially impacting the energy at that time that's coming into, to us. And so we're talking about, all of these downloads and things like that. Well, on the 11th, when that happened, we had just gone into the gate 43, which is the gate of breakthrough.
See?
Moving us from deafness to epiphany through the gift of insight. So we realized, like, okay, this is some big energy. And it's, worrying about not knowing and being really caught up in that. And so there was a lot of energy here. This is the one I think we did with Gerald at the time, because we remember talking about like the divine fool. And so there's that, kind of piece there of, can I be okay in the not knowing and allow that energy to lead me to breakthrough?
Right. Yes.
And so that was a huge energy with a massive solar flare that happened. And then on the 14th, we had just entered into the day before the gate 14, which is the power of prosperity. Right? This is the path of devotional strength. It moves us from compromise to bounteousness through the strength or the gift of competence. Okay. And so again, these are big energies coming in, helping us to make some of these shifts, right? So the victim of that state is of misalignment. And so moving us from that place of misalignment into being completely aligned, that's where bounteousness comes from.
Yes.
Right? So here we are. Now we went in, it was the 20th, and then from the 26th, 27, so like about Friday, we're going to switch again. But right now we're in the gate 34. And this is the power of pure life force. And this shows up as the shadow of force and the siddhi of mastery. And we bridge that with the gift of strength. And so the energy that we're in now is this raw pulse of life, right? It's what animates all movement, growth, evolution. It's that pure vitality. And so that can show up in a lot of different ways. But the idea is that this transit, it's the transit of the sacred warrior. I didn't even pull the card. It's the one
okay.
who acts from truth, not reactivity. And, we've talked about that so many times on the show about, it's so great. I love it. My cards, I just like, ploop, and they just open to the card I need today. Fantastic.
It means you're in alignment and you have clarity.
Yeah, the gate 34, the power of the great, right? And it is pure unconditional power is the energy here in the I Ching. And this transit, the sacred warrior, it's again this idea of moving away from reactivity and really sitting in a place of, can I stay still and wait to hear the truth? Can I allow myself to be directed from a place of wisdom, right? Because energy wants to move, but it also needs to be directed. And so I know, I've had that experience where something will happen and immediately like there's this build of energy and it wants to go somewhere. Right?
Sometimes that can feel like anxiety too.
Absolutely. But can I sit in that space and go, okay? And this is that finding the pause that we've talked about so much, right? Can I sit in that space and go, okay, what is it that's trying to come through? What is the wisdom here? What is it trying to tell me? And when we can be in alignment, this becomes unstoppable strength and the ability to really move and shift things because we're connected, right? Whereas in misalignment, it becomes force without purpose because we don't understand exactly what's driving it, or maybe we do, and we're just kind of like, okay, I'm going to go right into reactive mode here. And that happens sometimes, right? But it's about inviting in that wisdom in order to help us know which way to go. So shadow, force, it's the victim of overreaction, right? We are either pushing energy or we are losing that. And so there is a fear here of being, power being misused or wasted. And so we could potentially feel like we need to be forceful. So again, this is that misuse or overuse of power. And if we're doing that, I think it's a sign for us to go, hold on. Maybe I need to stop for a minute. Maybe I need to just think about this. I need to take that breath. I need to see, what's going on inside of me, because otherwise that force happens when we push before listening, right? We're just driving forward without alignment.
Yeah.
Right. So, this manifests impulsive decisions, emotional reactivity, overworking, burnout, which, a lot
Why
of
are
us
you saying it like that, Jen?
Trying to do everything, maybe alone, using strength as a defense mechanism, right? There's all these ways that this energy shows up for us. And at its core, the shadow of force, it really comes from a place of fear that if we don't act now, something will be lost, right? So there can be this frantic action that actually drains our life force instead of guiding it and helping us to be able to grow. And so this shift begins when we pause. Right? This is where stillness invites true strength to emerge. And that's why the gift of this energy is strength. It's aligned power. Right? And so it
Sorry.
yeah.
Everyone feeling called out, raise your hand.
Yeah.
We're called out.
Absolutely. Because we do this and it's normal. I say this all the time, to clients and stuff. It's a normal human thing that you're experiencing. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just, is this what you want to do? Is this how you want to move forward? And so, we notice that the strength begins to arise when our power becomes conscious, right? When it's embodied and directed from presence rather than urgency, because urgency gets us spinning our wheels, right?
Yep.
And I've been in that place, and I know, people who get in that place where it's like, I have to do this, and then I have to do that, and then and then nothing, happens because there's all this urgency, and we get caught up in it. And then it becomes kind of like brute strength. We're impatient and we try to force things to happen. But true strength, the kind that's really lived and like that embodied peace, right? Felt and expressed, that's without effort. And so the frequency, the action here, it's about taking that action when it's clear, right? When there's an efficiency to it. And so again, it's that, we've talked about like doing, not doing. I love the Tao. And being in that place of being and what that means. And it's this idea that we move when it's correct to move and we stop when it's correct to stop. So our instincts are able to sharpen and our timing becomes a lot more precise. And so we can trust the intelligence of our body, not the spinning machinations of the mind.
Well, and I find that's happened even more lately. Like things will happen, like students not showing up or, and everything seems to fall into place for a reason. Mm-hmm. There's a reason that it happened the way it did. And I actually find we end up with a better result when we just roll with it than when we're actually pushing against it, which is kind of what you're saying in terms of that, right? Absolutely. That's kind of being in that flow.
Yeah. Well, and again, right, the fear comes in and all of a sudden it's what's going on? I have to fix this. I need to do whatever it is. Whereas the gift expression is really that grounded confidence. Mm-hmm. Right? We're able to be aligned, and it's our ability to, I know we've talked about this so much, but respond rather than react, right? That inner stability in the midst of intensity.
Yeah.
Right. And so
it's human to have that kind of thing happening, right? So we all it'll depend on what's happening, whether you're able to respond or react, because it depends on your programming and all of the stuff that you've been through and what the transits are like and what the Schumann resonance is like, and, right? So so it's not that we're saying that, we're always going to be in alignment and always on track and always in flow, because it really, life's not like that. I think there's always going to be times when you're kind of thrown off course by something. I think the trick with all of that is, how do we get ourselves back on course quickly so that we can move forward without being in the drama triangle, which is also something we talk about a fair bit.
Yeah, mm-hmm. For sure. Well, and it's interesting, right? Because in every transit, we talk about the shadow, the gift, and the siddhi. And the siddhi is the enlightened state. And I remember even, reading with Richard, and I really appreciated this, that, we think, oh, I have to always be in the enlightened state. And he even says, no, our goal is to be in the gift, right? Which is able to touch the shadow and learn from it, and able to touch the enlightened state and ground it, right? It's that ability to ebb and flow, as you're saying, and to be okay with that. To know that sometimes I'm here and sometimes I'll make it there, but most of the time this is really where I want to be. And that's the balance.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, fully enlightened is not something that we really are able to achieve here in many ways. I mean, we can be pretty darn close, but
but if we want to stay connected here to anything or anyone,
exactly.
That's not really.
Yeah, exactly.
That. Right? I mean, because here the siddhi is just
Hi, Victoria. Thank you. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the siddhi for this is majesty, right? Majesty being effortless. It doesn't have to do anything. It just aligns. And yes, that would be wonderful. But in order to be in that space, our consciousness has to be completely surrendered, right? Like egoic will has to be done. And that's a hard place to be. We're here to experience things and to learn from things. And so to completely surrender for divine will to act through us, that's hard.
Yeah.
Right? Not impossible, but it's much more reasonable to say, I'm going to work towards this and have it show up from time to time, like that ability to really sit in that. But to stay there all of the time assumes that we've worked through every trigger. We've worked through everything that has ever set us off, every experience that we've ever had that has caused us to feel some kind of way. And honestly, like, if we've done that, why are we still here?
If our whole goal is to learn and there's nothing left to learn, why are we here? Right? So, I mean, it's nice to think that you've done all your work and all of that stuff, but, we're never really done our work.
No.
It's great that if you're working through stuff and you've gotten a big chunk of childhood stuff, so you kind of catch up with where you're at, you can kind of do that. But then there's all the past lives or concurrent lives, however you want to look at that. And then and then there's all the stuff that we need to learn as we go forward, and we're still working on that stuff, right? Because you're still going to have those triggers. You're still going to have, past life stuff that comes up. I find as soon as you start looking at the working through the present, we're going to start more and more having past life stuff come up, because that, because that's all part and parcel. That's sitting in our field as well, and working through that is important. Right?
Absolutely. And as Laura
says, there's always something to learn. Definitely.
And so, when we look at this energy, if we're able to be in that state, and again, if you've experienced it, there are times where, that experience comes in and it's like, okay, I can really be in the stillness. And that elevated consciousness can be beautiful to sit in, and for others even to see. But I think that when we get caught up in this is where I always have to be, we immediately go right back to the shadow and the fear. Yeah. Right? And that takes away from what it is to be in that place. So, okay, so how do we navigate all this energy, right? Some, reflective prompts. Maybe you want to journal about it or just think about it, just noticing. We've talked so much about the observer, right? Just noticing, where am I maybe acting from urgency instead of clarity? Right? Noticing, maybe, do I trust my instincts or do I override them because of pressure or fear or expectation? My shoulds, somebody else's shoulds.
Yeah. Even the smallest thing. So I was out looking for furniture today, and we went and we saw a couch, and I was like, ooh, it's really comfortable. And then I was like, okay, we need to measure. And then on the way home, I was like, but it's like a corner thing. So I'm like, there are factors in there that are not going to, and so, if I'd made the urgency decision, I might have regretted that, because I am an emotional authority. And so I need to, ride the wave of the decision. And so I noticed that today. I was like, I rode the decision. I rode the wave. So it's, so that's kind of the same thing, right? You're not giving into that urgency feeling. And it was on sale. And so that was creating the urgency, not so much the need for it, but the on sale piece.
Yeah. That fear
it was super comfortable, but it was the fear of loss that was creating it, because it's only on sale till Wednesday. So I know it's a mundane example, but sometimes it's nice to hear it in that way, so that people sort of see the everyday example of what that means, right? Yeah. So it's kind of like making decisions out of fear instead of love. If I had made it out of fear, I probably would have bought it right there and then, because I was worried about, not consciously even, actually, to be honest, but I thought, oh, well, it's only on sale till Wednesday. I don't know if I'll have time to get out. Maybe we should just do it. And then we're like, no, we better think about it a bit, which is good. But the whole, it's that piece. Are you making it a decision out of love or fear? Because if I'd made it out of fear, I would have bought it, right? But that could be misconstrued at the time. I could think, I love the couch. My body loves the couch. So maybe I should just do it because it's out of love. So that's the other piece, right? You have to weigh the whole thing. I know it's a mundane example, but you know what I mean. It's good to be.
But it's a beautiful example, because, we live in the mundane, generally speaking, right? In the day-to-day stuff. And decisions, especially big ones, for, anybody who has an emotional authority, you do need to ride that wave. And so even if in the moment you go, oh my goodness, I absolutely love this. You still have to ride the wave.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm better at that now than I used to be, let me say. I was not good at that before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And again, that
It's
takes
tough, though.
too, right?
It takes practice.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
So have you guys ever done that? When have you ridden the wave or almost made a decision out of fear? I'm sure all of us have an example if we were to think about it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Or made the decision out of fear. We've all done that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Well,
cool.
it's interesting because, I'm thinking about it as a splenic authority, which is based in survival and fear. And so my spleen either goes, nope, not safe, no, or it goes, eh.
All right. Let's do it. Whatever.
And so
I tend to make most of my decisions out of fear. So the opposite feels unsettling, which then just gets confusing. Yeah, because it takes time to understand the way you think about it.
Yeah.
Right? We have to give ourselves grace in that, in understanding that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the fact that we all make decisions differently based on our authority, if we're looking at it from a human design perspective, because there are so many different ways that we can make a decision based in that, I think the other side of this too, getting back to those shoulds, is making sure that we're not putting that pressure on somebody else either to make a decision in the same way that we do.
Yeah. That's recognizing our differences, right? I know my husband is he makes decisions in a different way. And over the years, that's been something that we've learned, right? I've had to say, okay, so what I'm working towards is more his style of decision making. What I was before was not his style of decision making. He's not an impulse buyer. And in my youth I was, so it became a thing that we had to get used to and understand each other with. So.
But that impulse buying, really quick, and then I'll come to Kaylee, that impulse buying is out of alignment for you as well. And
it
so
is.
I think that sometimes can be really nice when we have somebody else who is also different. Like it kind of challenges our way and then can sometimes even help us to get into alignment.
Yeah. Yeah. Kaylee says, especially with a lot of purchases and the instant gratification piece, or cushioning with it when I'm depressed or low. Yes. Yeah. Definitely an impulse buyer too. Yeah. I mean, we can buy for all sorts of reasons. We could be doing it for, to fill a void, emotional void. That's kind of that emotional shopping.
Yeah.
Kind of like emotional eating. We eat because we're feeling something in the body and we think the food's going to help. I think there's lots of reasons for that. But when you're doing a big purchase, it forces you to sort of say, okay, this is a lot of money, so I really need to think about this, right?
Absolutely.
On the other hand, I also want to make sure we get what we want or what we need, right? So, yeah.
But I mean, they're great examples of, taking that time and allowing that guidance to come through. I mean, 50% of the world is emotional authority, give or take. And the other 50% needs to get out of the emotional wave before they know anything about the rest of what they're being told. So this emotional wave is huge for everyone. Just because we're, just for the non-emotional wave people, it doesn't mean we don't have an emotional wave. We feel it. We feel the wave. So we all have to give that time sometimes to be able to notice what's real for us and true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And, of course, marketing, a lot of people will play on those things.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's kind of what the sale does. So it kind of plays on those urgency things so that you don't have time to ride your wave.
And what's really interesting, I remember at one point in one of the trainings they did at some point in all of it, I remember somebody had said, if somebody doesn't, if you have an emotional authority and somebody doesn't honor that and they don't give you the time that you need, right off the bat, it's not for you.
Right.
Because they're not honoring that authority. So if you're feeling that pressure to have to respond immediately, it's okay to set that boundary and go, you know what, if you need me to respond right now, I can't. Right. And that in and of itself is a response.
Yep.
Right. But that fear of loss that shows up.
And that's a big one for so many. That's always a thing. Mm-hmm. It's that fear of, what's the word I'm looking for? Fear of lack, fear of loss, like fear of lack and prosperity and stuff. They often talk about that. Yeah.
It's the infamous FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yes. FOMO. So as a self-projected projector, that always confuses me. What am I actually looking for as a wave?
So you're looking to get out of the wave, right? Because a self-projected, that means that your solar plexus is undefined. And undefined has to get out of the wave. And so an undefined solar plexus tends to, if we're not consciously aware, and even if we are consciously aware, it helps. But if we're not, we will pick up the emotional wave of others and then amplify it. Sometimes to the point of distortion is how Ra talks about it. And so what ends up happening is if you're caught up in somebody else's wave and then you make a decision based on that, that's not going to be an aligned decision, right? We're talking about alignment versus misalignment. And that happens a lot where an undefined solar plexus gets into somebody's emotional wave. And because it's not natural for us, we immediately go into reactive mode and make huge decisions based on the wave. And that doesn't work. Right? So we have to just be mindful of that.
Yes. And so if you're wondering about human design chart, you'll see here, I'm putting it in the chat, to go to Jen's passenger consciousness page so that you can look that up. And that will have details there for you. And if you get hooked like the rest of us have, you can get a
there's a ton of
reading done
on the page too, guys. So
take a look.
To explore and dive. And then if you want to dive deeper, obviously you can always reach out. But yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things in human design that doesn't get talked about enough is that it doesn't matter if we're defined or not in the solar plexus, that emotional wave is significant.
Indeed. Indeed. Yeah. So that's what we're talking about in terms of defined, undefined, and authorities and stuff, is that human design chart, if you're new to us.
Yeah, because we all have the entire chart, right? We all have everything. It's just whether or not something is active or not in our design. And I think that's such a huge piece for us to know. It's like, it's not, I'm undefined and you're defined. So we in the solar plexus, right? It's not, it doesn't mean I don't have emotions. It doesn't mean that I don't, ever experience that. It just means that I feel that wave from somebody and I have to release that. Right.
Where like you feel me.
Mhm. And it doesn't mean just because you have a defined solar plexus and you have a consistent way that you feel energy, it doesn't mean that you can't feel other people's energy. It just means that you have a consistent way that your wave operates.
Yeah.
Right? I have an inconsistent way that my waves operate. I'm depending on where I am and who I'm around.
So if it's me, she's really chaotic. Just saying. The fun part is that we feel each other even when we're not together. So
on the reg.
Happened yesterday. Just yep. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's, it's neat to kind of explore all of this and how it shows up for us, because the more we notice about like the way that it shows up for us, the more wisdom we gain around it. So as you were saying, now that okay, I have to ride my emotional wave, there's more kind of like clarity in the moment of like, oh, okay, I'm just, maybe I'm just high in the wave right now, or I'm just a little low in the wave right now. And being able to see that it's going to ebb and flow, and, how it ebbs and flows for you, and all those fun things.
Yes. Fun stuff. You should talk a little bit about codex, because we had this great class on the weekend, and I think people don't know what a success codex is.
Oh,
in general. So I think we should talk just a little bit about that, because I think it was such a fascinating piece when we started to look into it.
Yeah.
So it is something that's related to human design, correct? Or is it I Ching?
It is. So,
it was.
Yeah. So the Success Codex comes from Human Design and the Gene Keys, but it's made for entrepreneurs. So how am I most aligned in business? What does that actually look like for me? If you want to know what is kind of your driving force in business, how do people come to you? What's the best way to market yourself? All of those things are in your human design, and the Success Codex is specifically designed to pull out that business aspect. That makes sense.
Yeah. Like, for example, Jen and I are different, as we've talked about. And so the way we would market ourselves is very different. Right? So I go out and network, and Jen doesn't do that. For her, she needs to have people come to her.
Yeah. And that specifically has to do with our aura type and how we interact in the world. Yeah. Right. So as a projector who needs to wait for recognition and the invitation, my job, if you will, when it comes to marketing, is to allow myself to be seen. Yeah. And then from there, people will, the people who are correct for me, and again, not everybody's correct for everybody, and that's totally fine. But when we look at, fractals, so we have like the crystalline grid and all of that, and there's fractals, which are just the lines that connect everything. And we are on different fractals. And so people who are on my fractal are going to find me. Yeah. And the people who aren't, it doesn't matter what I do or how I push for it, they're not. And that's the same for everybody. It is. Right? Yeah. But the difference is, people find me because they go looking for something specific, and I come up. And it's been fascinating to see how that has played out in my life, because I, even in business, being, spiritual and bringing that into the mental health field, and then incorporating the human design and the gene keys and the Success Codex, all those things, and bringing in the galactic stuff and all of that, it really shifted the way that I put myself in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been incredible to see, people will say, oh, I Google, spiritual counseling and you came up. I had several people already tell me that they found me through chat, which just is mind blowing to me.
Chat.
Yeah.
Chat GPT.
Yeah. They put it in and they said, I want a spiritual counselor in Ottawa. And here I am. So I
need to try that.
I think it's fascinating because, again, it's that ability to put yourself out to be found. And then as a manifesting generator or generator, right, it's a very different way of being in the world because you're meant to respond. So you do all of the networking and stuff because you're responding to that and going, yeah, this feels good. I can put my energy towards this. I want to, be out and to do that. And that enveloping aura, it allows you to, you're smiling. That enveloping aura draws people in, right? So there's that experience of being out and people kind of being drawn in and wanting to know more.
So here's chat. I need a spiritual counselor in Ottawa. Here's a reputable option in Ottawa that aligns very well with your spiritual holistic counseling style you might be seeking, given the background work with light languages, starseed work, etc. That's me. It knows me, of course. And so, yeah. Look who's front and center.
Wild.
And it gives you all of her information. Things to ask. And then it says, if you like, we can give you 3 to 5 more.
See, this is mind-blowing to me. But at the same time, as a projector needing to be seen, I have myself on listings in different places, and I'm with Twillow, and I'm with the Beyond Being Human, and I'm with all of these other places that have my name associated to all of these different spiritual things. So it just makes sense that if, AI surfing the web, there's a lot there for it to pull from, I guess.
You're top of the list, Jen. I know you're top of my list, but you're also top of ChatGPT.
But it was one of those moments that the first client who told me that, I was just like, I'm sorry, say that again. What? Because know me, I'm not a huge AI fan in general. And so it was really surprising to me.
I think you should treat it nicely. It's treating you nicely.
I'm very kind to it. I'm very kind.
Okay, very good.
I went on after and I was like, thank you for referring me. I appreciate it so that it could continue to do it because I agree in positive reinforcement, even for AI.
Even for AI.
But again, it's that ability to understand the best way that we can, promote or market ourselves that's in alignment.
Yeah.
Right. That's the biggest piece, is about in alignment. And so, when we're talking about the Success Codex, which you guys can also get on my website if you want to, you just go under the drop-down menu and find Success Codex, and you can enter your stuff and get it on there as well. And if you want to learn more, then you can, again, as I said, always reach out.
Yeah, I think it's on the same. Isn't it on the same? Oh, no, it's not. I thought you could go down further.
The Success Codex is on a different page.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it separately just because I figured it was easier, just because the one had so many things on it. But yeah, if you just go to the page that says Success Codex, you'll see it there, and you can pull up your chart and all of that. I think Tanys is going to share the screen, so.
Well, I'm going to
put the page up.
I'm going to put that up. Yeah. I mean, I can share the screen if you like here.
That's okay.
There we go. Right? So it looks like this.
Mm-hmm. And it really is, it's what you said, unlock your business's full potential. It really is about unlocking your full potential with your business.
Yeah.
And so you'll see if, you scroll down there, there's 4 paths. You've got the impact path, the growth path, the balance path, and the transformation path. And each one of these is going to talk about different aspects of how you show up in business. So, like it says there, the impact path, learn how you are meant to be seen and heard and embrace how you can create impact. That's really, about exactly that. It's going to show you what you're seen for so that you can embody that more, put that in your marketing strategy, put that out there so that people can see this aspect of you that is meant to be seen. The growth path with money and magnetism, we're really looking at what it is that attracts business to you. How do you get your soulmate clients to come to you, and what that looks like? So there's a lot of amazing information in there. And I don't know. I mean, I know we did the Q&A for it, but if you guys have any questions about it or you want to know a little bit more, just reach out. My email's all over my website. There's a contact page on there. Feel free to ask some questions or even bring them on here.
Exactly. Ask some questions. It's all good.
On here. And again, I give so much away because I want everybody to be successful, right? So if you can't do a reading or it's outside of your budget or whatever else, there's still a ton of free resources on there for you to explore and just sit with it, right? So maybe you don't have the ability to do a reading. That's okay. Pull up your chart anyway. And read through it, meditate on it, sit and see like, okay, what would this actually look like if I were to, try to embody this for the next campaign of marketing that I'm going to do, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And go from there.
Well, and if you are a spiritual entrepreneur, we're working on a program for you guys for next year. That will include some of this codex stuff. So stay tuned for that too, because that's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm kind of excited about that one.
Yeah. And Leah, you had said you'd love a chart because you're no ordinary star child.
Yeah.
I think that is amazing and beautiful and wonderful. There's a couple options for you. So you can get your free human design chart. If you do your human design chart, if you're interested, and I need Gerald's little, like know your limits and all that kind of stuff, but there is a starseed guide on there. And I think
it's amazing.
I don't know, 150 pages or something like that.
Yeah. But it's really good.
The first part is it's astrology. It's based in astrology, and it's your ascending and your sun, and I think your moon is how I did it, for all of the starseed energy that's associated with those placements. And then the rest of the astrology piece is straight astrology. And then the next section is your frequency guide. And your frequency guide is the gene keys. And it's about the gene keys are beautiful in so many ways. So the transits that we talk about, all of that come from the gene keys. And what this section does is it takes your your sun and your earth signs on. So in human design, we have the personality side, which is your time of birth, and then the 88 degrees before, which is your subconscious side, which is the design. And it takes the sun and the earth placements. Tanys is all over on the website.
I'm looking for a picture of human design is what I'm looking for.
Oh yeah, I don't think I even have the body graph properly on there. I think I just have the other one. But if you put your info in, you'll get it.
Yeah.
I think the closest thing you could get to it is if you go to the calendar, but it only has the current transits on there. But anyway, so it takes those 4, which are your life's work, your evolution, your attraction or radiance, and your purpose. And it gives you the shadow and the gift and the siddhi and the cosmic galactic heritage that's associated with that work. And so it's really cool. And then the final part of it is just a guide. And so it gives you all of the information on how to do your star markers and everything if you want to deep dive even more into your galactic lineage. So as a not so ordinary star child, that might be of interest to you. And it's 22 Canadian to get it. I had somebody just recently get it. Most of the time I've had no issue. Somebody just recently tried and it, for whatever reason, didn't download properly. So if there is ever an issue, just email me and I'll send it to you once you've done it. But there shouldn't be. Like normally it goes through fine.
It's awesome.
I'm hoping this is a one-off.
It's awesome, for sure. Mm-hmm. So what have you got going on this week?
Are we already?
I think we've got.
Are we
we're already?
How on earth did that happen?
Yeah, we're pretty close to the time.
Sorry.
Maybe a couple of minutes earlier, but yeah.
That's already 59.
Yeah.
Let me get us our homework.
While she does that, I'll say that I do have infinite integrations on Wednesday at 5 p.m. And we have Galactic Gab on Friday at 7:30. And yeah, so we've got lots coming up for you guys. Stay tuned. And of course, next week we have Twillow Talk. Same time, same bat channel, 5 p.m. And if you are in Ottawa, next week, the 1st of December, is our Enlightenment Evening that we do in person as well. So, oh, cool. You had a dream it was all about tourmaline. Was it black tourmaline or watermelon tourmaline or green tourmaline? Which kind of tourmaline was it?
Those are very cool. Well, we are down to the end of the cards.
Well, we have, what do we have left? We've got
the last little bit.
Oh. Leah was obsessed. Maybe mining in another timeline. Yeah, could be. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Bluish green. Okay. Pretty.
Very cool.
And quite rare, really.
Well, and what is that for?
Bluish green would be like your higher heart. So like unconditional love, soul mission, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So feel into your soul mission, Leah, because I think there may be something coming up for you that you're going to be stepping into. That's what that feels like. And you're kind of like unearthing your soul mission. That's what I would take from that.
Oh, yeah. That was just like boom, boom. Sorry.
We have all been really busy in the astral, for sure.
Holy, yes.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Yep. Unearthing your soul mission.
Absolutely. All right. So the card we got today, go for a walk. I know it's getting colder out there, but maybe in a winter wonderland for those of us who have the snow. Okay. You've been inside too long, grandchild.
It's snowing.
It's cold.
It's cold and snowy.
Step outside and let your feet lead you to a place of natural beauty and quiet contemplation. It is time to rebalance the electric energies of the sacred masculine with the magnetic energies of the sacred feminine. Leave your distractions at home. Let your physical body move freely through your neighborhood or down newly discovered pathways. The gentle forward motion of your body will shake loose the troubles of your mind. Go to the places where the Sacred Mother is alive and lush. Let her healing magic work on you. As you walk, breathe in those organic essences. In this case, it's snow. And feel the life force all around you. This is joy for your physical body. It is easy to return to harmony when you spend time in the realms of the sacred feminine with your kin, the birds, the trees, the wind. Take this moment to look skyward. Do your eyes rest on wispy clouds or a tall, regal treetop? As your eyes lift, so will your heart. And I think it is so important too, right? Because part of, what we get with seasonal depression and things like that is that we're not able to be outside. We're not able to spend as much time. And so just noticing that we, if we are kind of sequestering ourselves inside, what does that look like? What is that doing to us? And so taking the time even to just, stand outside and take a deep breath, earth into the snow, as cold as it may be, even just for a moment. But it is that, connecting again with the body. And, we look at the cycles of the seasons, and we're in the winter season, and this is more of that like hermiting time. It is more of that, time to kind of ground and regroup and all of that. And so stepping out into that can sometimes help us come back and do that for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So
go for a walk. And they don't mean the treadmill. So, have you got any?
I love. I was reading the cards. I don't know if you put it up, but Leah's.
No, not yet.
There
is both sides of your being, male and female, with each step.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's a great way to harmonize, right?
Mm-hmm.
Harmonize those halves.
Yeah, absolutely.
So have you got anything other than Twillow Talk next week and Galactic Gap?
Oh, right. We have Galactic Gap on Friday.
As far as we know.
That's the plan.
Mm-hmm.
That's the plan. And then I have Gerald. I'm going to be on with him on Monday the 1st. So before Twillow Talk, 2 Eastern. And we're going to be talking human design cognition. Mm-hmm. So that'll be another deep dive, laugh and learn into the human design side of life.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So, and we will be on at some point in the next couple of weeks doing some readings.
Oh, yeah, we got to do our live reading.
Yeah, we got to do our live readings at some point.
Okay, so like and subscribe so that you can be on with us, because we're probably just going to be like, hey, we're here.
Hi, we're here. Yeah. So like and subscribe so that you get the notification. What's that?
Since it is the 24th already.
Yes. It did. November flew by. I don't have any idea where the time went this month. It was like one day I woke up and it was like the 11th, and the next day I woke up and it was like today, 24th. I don't know what happened to the last 2 weeks.
I don't know.
But either way. Yes, so we've got that. And we also do our monthly reading that you get the short piece on YouTube. Mm-hmm. You get the long piece on Twillow Lifestyle membership page, which is free still. So go and check that out. Become a member. We're going to start putting on some. We're going to start putting on some special discounts, special events, and stuff in there as well in the coming year. So stay tuned for all of that stuff. There's also lots of resources on there. Check that out, and that's where we're at. So stay tuned. We have lots coming. Working on new programs for the new year and starting up new cohorts of some of the programs we have. So stay tuned with the website as well, because we'll be putting that out there. We'll probably be putting out some sneak peek preview things as well over the next month or so. So it's exciting. Mm-hmm. So I think that brings us to the end of the show.
Yeah.
As much as I don't know where the time went.
But thank you so much for being here with us.
Yes.
And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. So thanks, guys. And we're looking forward to seeing you again very soon on any of those things that we've talked about. And have an awesome week. Bye now.